No, please, yeah. And then the second tool I wanted to talk about is something called Neuron Writer. So we're in a world where a lot of times, you want to get seen, you want to show expertise in your company. Writing a blog, writing an article, putting some expertise out there is a great way to show potential customers and returning customers that you know what you're talking about, right? And running a small company, I find it really difficult to compete with the larger companies because we don't have the same budget, to spend on marketing, on content. I've got some great people working with me. They know a lot, but we're constrained by our resources, like most organizations. So we've got blogs that we put out, we've got articles that we put out, but when it comes to putting articles on your website and things like that, Google, you live or die by Google, or maybe Bing in the future as we're moving into GPT taking over and Microsoft becoming more relevant with Bing. But when people are searching for advice on something, or even product or service, you want to be higher up in the rankings because that's how you get seen. So I came across Neuron Writer, which is a tool that fuses the ability to create a blog or an article, but optimizing it for SEO, search engine optimization, so allowing you to be higher in the rankings. And again, as a smaller company who don't have a dedicated SEO person, that can become really challenging. And you can write an awesome article or an amazing blog, but if you don't know how to manage the SEO, you can kind of fall quite low. So the way this tool works is you give it a few keywords about the content you want. So I tried to make it topical for this. I'm not sure how many people would search for this, but I wanted something like managed service providers with expertise in artificial intelligence. Like, we want to get an article out there so that when people are searching for artificial intelligence in IT or things like that, we're going to come high in the rankings. So you give it the search. And then what you do is it gives you the competitors, who else is doing really well in those areas. You can select the top 10, you can add some bespoke articles if you have competitors, you can go further down than the top 10. What you say is basically go and analyze their articles, blogs and content, and come back with the keywords that they're discussing, and really just try to understand why they're doing really well on Google. So you do that, and if you just go to the next slide, please, Mark. It'll come back on the left-hand side with the keywords that the article has covered. So these are all the things that the article mentions several times. It's not a very well-trodden path, this article. There are other searches that are a lot more competitive. But what it's saying is the best competitors are scoring about 57. Here's the words that you've got to put in your article. Now, a couple of years ago, when I was trying to write blogs, I was speaking to a marketing team, and they were sort of saying, yeah, you need to write a blog, but you need to make sure you put your keywords in there. And that became really challenging because you're trying to write your blog and you're trying to be mindful of putting the keywords in the right places, and you feel like you've got two brains trying to balance the two. So what we can do with Neuron Writer is it gives us that list of words, and then the right hand side, it actually gives you suggestions of what people are searching for and what might be a good headline or header for your article. Now, I'd always suggest you already have an article or a blog in mind, and what you're doing is you're using this tool to enhance what you're doing. I wouldn't just use this tool to create it from scratch. Of course, you can do that, but when people actually do come to read it, the point is this is just a tool that's going to help get people onto the article. They still need to read that article, find it useful, and get some benefit out of it. Otherwise, you're going to fall over at the last hurdle when they read the article and they say, well, that didn't really help me. I'm not really interested in this company. So it's not a replacement for a bit of quality. It's just allowing you to, as I say, compete with other organizations that maybe have larger marketing budgets and things than yourself. So we select an article title, we select some headers, and we'll go to the next slide, please, Mark. And then what you can then do is one of two things. One, you can write the article yourself. You can start to write it and you start filling up the keywords, and the score will slowly increase as you write the article. Or you can do a bit of a hybrid. We can bring our friend AI in here, ChatGPT, and we can take the header, go to AI writing, And what that will do, and on the right hand side, it's just the top bit that I filled in. How can businesses benefit from AI? And what that will do is write 244 words on how businesses can benefit from AI, but keeping those keywords in mind. Now, I would really strongly advise against just using this tool in its entirety, because all you're going to get is a lot of rehashed stuff on the internet. But what you can do is you can use it as support material. And the way I explained it to Charlie the other day was, in a song, sometimes you have a hook, right? You have the key bit, you've got that, that really cool little bit that everyone likes listening to. Or in an article, you've got the really the expertise, like maybe a couple of paragraphs of actually what's really important, but the content around it might be explaining what is AI, how does AI work. And so you can use this tool to help to generate the content around your key point, so that you do better in the search rankings. So people will come to your site, they'll come to your article, but then you still got your hook in there. So I did an article the other day on the lovely subject of PCI DSS. I wrote a couple of paragraphs myself that I really wanted to get across as the gist of the article. And then I had a play with Neuron Writer, and I built a few paragraphs around it. What's PCI DSS? How does it work? And all this kind of stuff. And put it together, I managed to get a score of like 68. And according to a few other tools I checked, it was a very well SEO optimized article, but actually in a human readable and usability format, it also did that for me as well. So let's pop to the next slide. And this is it's not finished. This is just 2 paragraphs that it's created. And you can see we've got 2 article sort of paragraphs. We've got a score there of 26. So the score is increasing. It has a readability score there of 33. Again, you want that high because you want people to be able to read it. It also has a target of around 1,500 to 2,000 words, because that's what normally Google at the moment has as a good article length for people to read. And it tells you your competitors' best ranking. And as you can see on the right hand side, it starts to fill up green, amber and red or yellow with how you're doing on those keywords. And so I emphasize it's that balance. We're not just playing the SEO game, but we have to play the SEO game. So we're not just creating articles to be to the top of Google, and then people find that they're just a load of keywords thrown together. The idea is this tool can hopefully help you balance the two, get something good out there that plays well with the search engines and gets you seen, really. So yeah, that's the second one.